Hi, I'm Shane Hastie. I'm the Director of Community Development for ICAgile, and I'm going to talk to you about operating with agility, taking Agile beyond product delivery. ICAgile is fairly well known for our branding of the learning roadmap, sometimes called a fan or a flower, and that looks at the capabilities that an organization needs, that people need, in order to cover the competencies for product development. Recently, we've also launched a new learning roadmap, which is very much focused on the competencies an organization needs for business agility. Agile development has become pretty much the norm today for organizations building knowledge worker products. Software development in particular, because the ideas of agility for development came out of the software development space. It's been nearly 20 years. It was 2001 when the Agile Manifesto was first written. And in that time, Agile for software development, Agile for knowledge worker products has become the norm. But what we see consistently, particularly in organizations for whom software has not traditionally been the core of their business, is as these ideas take root and they become successful in IT departments, in software development spaces, it grows and the take-up. But then we hit the boundaries, we hit the organizational impediments that actually make becoming agile across the whole business more difficult. And this is why we at ICAgile, working with a group of thought leaders across the world, have come up with what we're calling a business agility learning roadmap. And here you can see our conception of the business agility learning roadmap. As organizations go to adopt agile ways of working, agile ways of thinking, the common impediments, common challenges that we see are related to some of the organizational functions and areas. And that's what the whole idea around business agility and taking it beyond product delivery is about. So at ICAgile, we looked at a number of tracks in this space. Of course, the enterprise coaching is a set of deep competencies for people who are guiding organizations in the transformation. And we have the leadership track, which is for people who are leading their organizations at any level through a transition to agile thinking. And then in the middle of our roadmap here, in the operating with agility track, we have the areas of the organization, the competencies that need to be in place in order to truly support the new ways of thinking, but also the new practices, new ways of working. We know that Agile is at its core a mindset, but that mindset does need to be supported by new practices, new approaches. So in our operating with agility track, we've identified learning outcomes for specific elements of the organization. Finance is an example. Traditionally, many organizations have had lengthy budgeting cycles, for instance. If you're in a space where your product delivery can happen every 2 weeks or even more with DevOps, but your financing model says we need to plan 12 to 18 months in advance, there's some dissonance, there's a disconnect. And a common challenge that we have seen is that finance becomes an inhibitor and a blocker for organizations adopting the agile ways of working. And so there are things that we can do in a finance space, bring in, one, the mindset, but also the practices. looking at things like procurement and how that can improve, looking at the budgeting cycles, how that can change, drawing on ideas such as beyond budgeting, Mirko Kleiner's work in, and others, of course, in flow-based procurement, for instance. So there's a lot of good ideas, good practices that can be incorporated that finance departments or people in a finance responsibility can take on. Likewise, marketing. If, again, we're releasing products more frequently and our customers are demanding of us that we change and adapt and respond, then the way that we bring products to market, the way we promote our products, from shifting from the mindset of marketing to sell to marketing to serve, putting the customer truly at the center of the marketing ideas, and being able to adapt and respond. So not the 3, 6, 9, 12-month marketing cycles that did work well in the old days, but 1, 2, 3, 5-day marketing cycles, taking advantage of the techniques and technologies from product development, but also looking at what's really happening and tapping into the social media and new marketing tools of today. Another one is the people operations, the human resources, the areas of the organization who are responsible for looking after the people in the business. Again, this has traditionally been a blocker to Agile adoption. In many organizations, the recruitment process or the reward structures are inherently contradictory to an Agile way of working. If we think of, in Agile teams, we ask people to be collaborative, to be cross-functional, to work together. But then our reward mechanism says once a year we're going to stack rank people and compare them against each other, and that's how the bonus will be paid. Well, we've immediately got a contradiction, and there's a lot of those contradictions that exist. But there's also a lot of good ideas and good thought and good practices that we can bring in. Pierre-Marie Toran's work on Agile people is just one example. Another area is organization design. Our organizations themselves have to become inherently and agile at their core. So the ability to flex not just the people in the organization, but the overall shape of the organization to respond to the changing environment, and to be able to do that smoothly, easily, effectively, so that it's not disruptive, but that it is part of the way that we work, part of how this organization works. Even the way we form teams. Heidi Heflin's work on dynamic reteaming, for instance, contradictory to the way that we've spoken about continuous stable teams. But how do we take advantage of the dynamic situation and actually reteam effectively? Product management is another area where there's a need for adapting and responding to the new ways, the new demands of the industry around us, becoming truly customer-centric. And this is different to product ownership, which we've firmly placed into the delivery roadmap. But product management is looking much more at that wider strategic perspective and bringing the ideas of agility, adapting, responding, again, getting close to customers, customer centricity, building products that customers don't only like, but they love, that delight, creating joy in our customers. And there are ways that we can do this. And that's what the tools and techniques are about. And the last of the learning elements in this track is lean portfolio management. Adopting a lean Kanban approach, not to just one initiative, a group of initiatives, but across the whole organization, and bringing that lean mindset into running the business as a whole. So these are the disciplines that we believe will make a difference as organizations do adopt the new ways of thinking and working. Because Agile, beyond product development, is different. It's not easy, it is necessary, and it's fun. So I encourage you to explore the ICAgile Business Agility Roadmap and to please reach out to us.